Welcome to Piano Video Lessons, Year 1, Unit 3, Lesson 5. In this lesson, we're going to be learning about the concept of a fourth. So we've already learned about seconds, and we've learned about thirds. So a second, we knew, was a note that lived directly beside the next one using neighboring letter names. So if C to D, for example, was a second. Then we had a third, and a third was moving from one note by skipping over the note before. And so here we would have a third, moving from C up to E. So logically, we would extend this one further, and we would move up to a fourth. So if we're moving a fourth, we need to know what this looks like on the staff. So let's just have a look. So when we're looking at notes, this doesn't matter if it's treble clef or bass clef, notes can move from a line to a space, to a line, to a space. We'll stop there. That's 4 notes. That's all we need in order to play a fourth. And when we were playing notes that were just a neighbor or a second apart, they moved from the line note to the immediately adjacent space. So those 2 notes are touching the same line. This one is on the line. This one is above the same line that the first note was on. So that's a second. But now if we increase the distance and we move to a third, then we're moving from a line, skipping over the space and going to another line. So this can be called a third, and it is. But it's 2 line notes, or it could be 2 space notes, but it's skipping over one note, which is the opposite. So in this case, we have line notes, we're skipping over a space. If we had 2 space notes, we'd be skipping over the line that's in the middle. So now if we expand this one further, we would end up with a space note. So now we're moving from a line note to a space note. And in fact, if this was treble clef, we would have E moving up to A. And the distance here is a fourth, so it skips over 2 keys. And generally speaking, if we play a fourth, we also skip 2 fingers. So we would play 1 and then 4, and we would skip 2 fingers and 2 notes. So here are the 2 notes that I skipped, 1 to 4. So these intervals can be played at the same time, or one after the other. When we play them at the same time, it's called harmonic, like in harmony. And when we play them one after the other, it's called melodic, like a melody. So these 2 notes are melodic fourth, and then this is a harmonic fourth. And when we play this, we really have 2 choices of fingerings that we could use. The one I showed you, which is finger 1 and finger 4. Or we could shift our hand down 1 note and put our 5 on the highest note, and then we'll play the bottom one with finger 2. So when we're playing fourths, we could play them with 1-4, or we could play them with 5-2. Same thing for the left hand. We could play this with 5 on the bottom, 2 on the top, or we could play it with 4 on the bottom, 1 on the top. Same pair of fingers. So let's quickly look into our notes. And there is a little exercise here that asks you to label the keyboard in fourths, beginning with the lowest key, A. So you'll just write an A on here, and then skip 2 keys and write in the next one, which we find to be D. Skip 2 keys and write in the next one. We find this to be G. Skip 2 keys, write in C. Skip 2 keys, write in F. Skip 2 keys, B. Skip 2 keys, E. Skip 2 keys, A. All right, if you were interested in learning to count by fourths, as we did counting by thirds or seconds, this would be enough because we're back to A. So A, D, G, C, F, B, E, and then A, D, G, C, F, B, E. We could continue on in fourths, and you should continue writing them up the piano. So we discovered that a fourth is a line to a space, just like a second is, but it's more spread out. So inside here, we skip over 1 space and we skip over 1 line. And here's an example, beginning on a line, moving to a space. And then in the next example, we're beginning on a space and moving to a line, but again, we're skipping this line just above D, and we're skipping this space, bottom space, and we're playing the second line. Again, here we have bottom line, second space. So we're skipping bottom space and second line. Here we have space to align, so we're skipping second line and second space. So now with this in mind, we're going to look at the exercise at the bottom, and we're going to circle anything that is a fourth. So our first clue is that they're going to be a line and a space, not two lines and not two spaces. So let's have a look at this first pair of notes. It's the bottom line and space number 2. Okay, that exactly matches this one, and it's a fourth, so we're going to circle it just like that. Now the next one is 2 space notes, and never is a fourth 2 space notes. So that's not a fourth, it's a skip. Then we have 2 space notes, also a skip. Then we have a line going to a space. And you see that it skips the space and it skips this line, so that is a fourth. Then we have a space to a line, but squished in tight. So this is a neighbor or a second. Then we have a space to a line, and it's got a gap of 1 skipped line and 1 skipped space. So that's a fourth. Here we have 2 line notes. Is that a fourth? Nope, it's a third. Oh, and I circled it. What was I thinking? Next one is a line and a space. Could that be a fourth? Yes, it could. Is it squished together? No, it's not. Opened up just the right amount. It's a fourth. Here we have line to line. Is that a fourth? Correct. It's a third. Here we have line to space. Is that a fourth? Yes, it is, because it skips 1 line and 1 space. Here we have space to line. Is that a fourth? Correct. It's a second. Here we have space to line. Is that a fourth? Yes, it is. Line to space. Is it? Correct. It's a second. Space to space. Is it? Correct. It's a third. Line to space. Is that a fourth? Yes, it is. Line to space. Is that a fourth? Yes, it is. Line to space. Is that a fourth? Yes, it is. Space to line. Is that a fourth? Yes, it is. Line to line. Is that a fourth? Correct. It's bigger than a fourth. Space to line. Is that a fourth? Yes, it is. So another suggestion here is to go back to the piece called Good Morning and circle the fourths. Woo! We played some, we just didn't reference them. So if we're looking back at lesson 1, it happens in the left hand that we play fourths quite a bit. So here we see the fingers 1 and 5, but here we have fingers 2 and 5, and it's a line and a space, so there's your fourth right there. And then we have some more space notes. Oh, here's a space and a line, and it's fingers 1 and 4, and we've skipped 1 space and 1 line. That's a fourth right there. Back to 2 spaces again. All right, so let's flip our way back now into lesson 5, and we're going to learn to play a piece of music called the gondola. And this piece uses fourths that are not harmonic, they're melodic fourths. So these ones take a little more looking. So let's first hunt for them by looking to see what each note is. So do you remember this note? It's a guide note, I hope you know it. It's bass C, very good. Next note is another guide note. Which note is this? It's F, you're right. So it's those 2 notes, but more importantly, it's a space to a line. And it skips a line here, and it skips a space here. So this is a fourth. And if I've used finger 5 to start the fourth, you know what finger I'm going to use to finish it. Because the pairs are 4 and 1, or 5 and 2. So in this case, I'm going to play my 2 on the second note. So here I have line to space. Is that a fourth? Nope, too close. It's neighbors. And then space to line. Is that a fourth? It's not, is it? Then we have line to line, not a fourth. Line to space. Is this a fourth? Okay, let's see. It's C. Let's see, it's C. It starts on the C here, and then it goes to the note that's 1 note below treble G, and you know that's F. So it's right here. So is that a fourth? It is a fourth. So we'll circle that. And now if we played the first one with finger 1, what do we pair with 1 in playing a fourth? It's finger 4. So now we have F going to G. And so it's from a space to a line, those are neighbors, and then a line to a space, those are neighbors. Now we're going to move down here, space to line. Is that a fourth? Yes, it's the identical notes that we had from line 1. And here, line to space. Very good. Then this says left hand cross finger 3 up, from space to space, not a fourth, plays treble C, treble C, treble C, right hand plays again on F, and this was space to space. Is that a fourth? Correct, it's not. Then we have line to space. Is that a fourth? Nope, it's neighbors. Then we have space to a line. Is that a fourth? Yes, it is, because it's F to C again. And then we're going to move down here, line to line, not a fourth. We're going to have 2 on F, then G, and then F. No fourths here. Line to line, not a fourth. Line to line, not a fourth. Line to space, except very close and neighbors. And then we have space to line. Ooh, tricky. There's a fourth right in there. So this fourth changes hands. It's not going to feel like a fourth. So this one sort of breaks the rules because we're going to play this with 1 and then 1. So the other rule is if you're playing the fourths between the hands, anything goes. You could play any fingers at all, depending on what's there. All right, so then we have C up to space, line to space. Is this a fourth? Yes, because it's C to F. So we're going to play fourths in a row at the end of this piece. So I'm just going to play it for you, and I actually played it for you already at the end of lesson 4, if you watched the end. And I'm pressing my right foot pedal down. This is called a damper pedal. If you have one, if you have only one pedal, it's a damper pedal. If you have 3 pedals, you want the one on the far right. If you have 2 pedals, you want the one on the far right. So I'm going to play this piece quietly, and I'm imagining the swaying motion of the gondola. That is it. So I trust that you're able to plan these notes and the fingerings and play it yourself. I'll get you started. You're going to play 5 for 2 beats and then finger 2. Now this is in 3/4 time, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we switch hands. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the next line similar. Here I have it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, cross, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Stay here, 1, 2, and then play right hand. So this was left hand, 1, 2, then right. Now my left hand's going to make its way back to where it was while I play G2, F, C2, F, G2, F, C2, F, G2, C, F, 2, 3. All right, so that is the gondola, and this was lesson 5. In lesson 6, we're going to talk about melody patterns and fingerings and how to determine which finger to play next based on what we see in the music. So join me in lesson 6.